Here we are, guys. What's going on, everybody around the world, from London to the Bay? Hope everybody's having a good day. This is our college playoff selection show, and why not just have the voice of Warrior Nation just come on here and just hang out, I guess, and we just talk about football.
Absolutely, man. I love it. Appreciate the invite, man. I know you sent me a link, sent me a message this afternoon that you was going live, and I'm like, hey, man, uh, I'll be at home at that time. I don't have to work tonight, so sounds fun.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
man, why not? Yeah, heck yeah. Well, I mean, ain't nothing better than Jesus and football and food, and in that order.
Amen.
I mean, what else could
Yeah.
be better? Tell me, they about to get started here in just about 5 minutes, so I'll give us time to shoot the breeze for just a minute. There's a lot. We already got 8 or 10 people on already.
Good.
We had our players of the week. We give shirts out for our players of the week. We had Hunter Jenkins, little Jink, Dirty 30 over at Cedar Bluff. He had over
That's
200
right.
yards rushing. Actually had 3 touchdowns. One of them was called back, so he 20 carries. And then Tanner Eves, he passed for like 170 yards over there at Gelsel game. Get them their last win for the year to send the seniors out in style. So I hung around, me and Dean did, and we watched Cedar Bluff practice a little bit. A lot of energy. Guys look excited. They're glad to be. It's always good to be at practice in November.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
always good to be.
and it's good for our county too. You know, you got three teams in the county that it's going to be, in postseason act, and so what that's really good. I know we've had as many as all as 4 or 5 of them in the postseason at one time, but still, I mean, um, with Cherokee County and Spring Garden and Cedar Bluff representing us, I think we've got maybe all three teams will get to go far in the postseason.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be should be a good season. We like we enjoy the dollar. Many schools we can get in the county to be in the playoffs. It's always
Sure,
good.
sure it is.
I went by Cherokee County today, spent some time with Coach Kelly and the bunch, and without getting into to any detail about the officiating in the game because it really don't matter, and it's on to the next page. And me and Coach Weaver talked about it, and he knows he's been a part of that. He understands what it's like to go up there and play on the mountain. So, it is what it is, and I reminded some of them that it's just you just go out there and it's just a warm up, just good stretch, get you ready for playoffs.
Well, I mean, I looked at that game Friday night, two or three different ways. Yes, it would be great to come out of there with a win. It's a 6A school, but here's the next thing: Fort Payne is going to prep you for the playoffs. Better than playing
Yeah,
a weaker school, a lesser classification, a weaker school, or whatever you want. And you already didn't have a perfect season. Of course, we had that region loss with Aniana, but but still, I mean, so you go with it up there against a better opponent, and I mean, I don't know that they were necessarily better; they just actually got the win. But still, they was some good competition for us, and to especially give our defense a chance to get tested again, and of course, uh, golly bum, Corneo, Amos, Crane. Um, Chestnut, the Diamond Boys, all those guys. Oh my gosh, Tristan Brown.
yeah,
I mean, for a young guy, I'm
yeah,
telling you, Cherokee County's defense, they're good. They're in good shape. I mean,
yeah. They're going to bring back a lot of players next. A lot of the linebackers, Jacob and Tristan, both be back. There's going to be there's some good young squads. Being over at Cedar Bluff Monday,
yeah,
you see some few JV kids over there, fooling around. They're not practicing or anything, but just kind of hanging around practice and stuff. I like our county right now to really, over at Sandrock, they got a great JV squad too. And
you
Coach
got to start
Bates,
young, growing them up. I mean, if you don't grow your squad young, um, it's really hard to develop it once they get to be the high school players if they didn't have it when they were, coming up.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. So we got Jeff Anderson asked which state we're talking about here in the northeast part of Alabama, up here in Cherokee County.
You can't tell by our accent.
Yeah, we cover the county here, and we do a lot of college football, but we always give shout out to our county guys. We love going out there, and I take pictures, and we get on Instagram, and I share pictures over there for moms and dads and grandparents, and so jumping right in here, let's see. Doug Wright, keep up the great work. Love watching every time you're live. Man, Mr. Wright, it's great to have good fans like yourself. We appreciate it, and I'm humbled by it, a lot when people come on that, kind of keep up with stuff. And just that we're just too unrehearsed, non-ESPN, unbiased, no politics. We just like to talk sports, and I think our sports people have got away from that, and that's giving opportunities for guys like us to come in and talk sports.
You and Matt do it absolutely. I mean, you and Todd do a great job at what y'all do. I mean, you've got a walking statistician with Diamond Dean, and I mean he's as good as it comes, and at what he does, and of course that's the reason he's a writer for one of the local groups and stuff. So, but anyway, no, I appreciate the work y'all done. I know when you pitched this idea, you even hit me up with it when you were thinking about doing it. What is this? Is y'all fourth year now?
Yeah, this is the third year we're on. We'll be show 162 will be this Sunday.
Yeah, and I mean when you pitched it, I'm like, hey, man, there's a need out there for this.
Yeah, if there wasn't, we wouldn't have. I wouldn't have over thousands and thousands of followers and Instagram and Twitter accounts, and if there wasn't a need for it, they wouldn't have that.
Jeff's got a loaded question for you.
Yeah, since we're digging into college here, they're fixing to fire up the guns. I'm not surprised. I'm kind of glad they went ahead and fired Coach Harsin. You might as well just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off. The guy never had a chance to ever really coach there.
Yeah,
he won some games there last year. And Bo winds up leaving, taking off to Oregon. He's having success up there. Yes, I know the Pac-12 is not defensively not the SEC, but he has been successful. So I think they got rid of a lot of coaches up there, Jeff. I look for them to Auburn. Auburn usually messes this up. They may jump out there real quick and hire somebody and try to make a name. But if you want to make a real good hire, I would not want to do that till probably, at least December. Wait till the coaches are kind of getting done, maybe after Christmas or first of the year. Lane Kiffin is, definitely a name put out there. And Dan Mullen, from the old coaches I know around South Alabama, I'm hearing Dan Mullen. His name has been on the line. Thank you, sir. We do appreciate you, Mr. Jeff Bicuspid. And Dean's not with me tonight. He's at basketball. They're trying to – all their gyms are having the floors redone, so he's even struggling to find a place, where even hardly to practice. And, again, lots of prayers for that community and losing those three young men. They were all Todd knew them all well, coached them in football or basketball or something. And three young guys, don't matter. The details don't matter.
Nope, that's right.
These three young kids and three families of parents and uncles and grandparents that are missing their kids today. I don't know what I would do. So just pray for them. That community. That's a hard loss, man. You lose three kids, so that's tough. So that's where Dean is at. He's doing his basketball at Chattooga. What's up, Aaron? How you doing? It's good to see you. Zach, I've seen him on here, Hot Wheels, work out with him in the mornings at the gym. Who does what? Yeah, the money.
I don't know, 15. But I'll accept anything anybody's offering.
I'll go down to Auburn for I'll take $1 million. I'll do it for $500,000, honestly. I'll go there and get them fired up.
I had some students earlier talking about Matt. They was talking about said, well, they're throwing numbers at Lane Kiffin like $11.5 million. I said, look, I'll make them a deal for $5 million. There's not a bigger War Eagle guy than me, and everybody that knows me knows I'm not a War Eagle guy.
No.
But I promise you pay me $5 million, I'll kiss Big Al right smooth. I'll be right smooth in the mouth.
I'll go out there and kiss the Pat Dye trophy.
Absolutely.
Now, I guess, what are they going to do? I don't know. I do know this. He's going to be owed about $700,000 by the end of the month. And then he's going to have 4 other installments to clear up a $14.2 million, I guess, or so 14.8 or so million after 4 more installments, and they're still paying Gene Chizik right now. So
Well, that's what I was going to say. One of my students found a link or I found a page earlier today, and he said that Auburn athletic department was paying out $54,000 a day to former coaches.
that's like bad as what is it? Was it Barry Bonds or no Bobby Bonilla? It's still making like $10 million a year off his contract.
Yeah, right.
Now, as far as this ranking committee, Talbert, well, who's your 1 through 4? I know it's gonna take a minute to get to that. They're talking about the teams and they're talking about where they're ranked right now.
I mean, granted, I'm a diehard SEC fan, and I'm a lifelong Alabama fan, and so Georgia and Tennessee's at the top. But guess what? We're going to play that game this weekend. One of them's coming out, so and it's still. To me, that's a pick'em game. That's really not a game you put points on, the Georgia and Tennessee, because I just think they're.
Yeah,
Herb thinks he's better than us.
he thinks he is. I'm with you. The idea that Tennessee and Georgia, they're going to play this week. So I mean, it's really it's a moot point to even to say. I mean, it is. They're going to play this weekend, and Michigan, Ohio State's going.
Ohio State in there, and I'm sorry, Ohio State's just not battle tested. I don't care that. I mean, okay, they played Penn State. They got behind on them. They come back and won. Okay, but still, I mean, who did they play? You look at
the Penn State game where they beat a ranked team, and coming out first, Ohio State playing Notre Dame, and they looked a little scraggly, and then we found out, like I've always said, Notre Dame's really not that good. Well, they got Clemson this weekend, so Clemson better be careful. They got to go up to Indiana. They got to go to Indiana. We'll see how that turns out.
I've never pulled for Notre Dame. I wouldn't pull for Notre Dame if they played checkers.
I'm waiting. I wouldn't either.
I mean, I'm sorry. I just can't do it. Michigan's probably going to be in the top 4. TCU's got to get some looks. Okay, granted.
I like TCU to be in there. At least put them at 5, man. I mean, I'm going to probably put Bama be at 6. But yeah, Tennessee being number 1. Tennessee probably has the best resume. I mean, they beat a ranked Kentucky. They beat a ranked Alabama. They're playing good right now. Their pass defense is not the best in the world, but I don't think Stetson Bennett's going to kill that idea too much because he's not I don't think he's the best passer in the world. He's going to throw a pick or two in a game. So looks like Jeff likes to go Buckeyes. And at the end of the season, yeah, they're going to be.
Go ahead, Jeff.
They're starting the 25 up.
Okay.
You got UCF, Texas, if y'all can see it. Oregon State, North Carolina State. Wake Forest is not. They're playing pretty good right now. I mean, they only lost 2 games so far.
But look at number 25. They're 6-2. Number 25 has lost 2 games.
Well, that's Gus Malzahn. They couldn't wait to run him off at Auburn.
But I mean,
they couldn't wait to get rid of him.
Well,
and he took some of the players down there with him.
He done it.
Tennessee reminds me of last year's Bucks, says Jeff. I could see that, I guess. I could see that. All right, 20 is Syracuse, and then the Green Wave. Oklahoma State and North Carolina is at 17. Illinois is at 16. Illinois is Illinois has got. I'm pretty sure they got Ohio State pretty soon. They'll play. I think they play. I don't know, weekend after next.
I'll have it for you in a minute.
Okay, let me see. I'll pull it up on the. Crud. What I just do?
I just think it's great to celebrate some of these teams that are in this range. I know we're all focused on the top 4 or 6, but what the heck's going on in Champaign, Illinois, Brett Beal?
I know, 7-1 Illinois.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Let me watch this magic right here, Talbert.
Carolina's recovered from early loss, and all of a sudden they're on track potentially to get to Charlotte. Could be
watch this right here.
Of Clemson.
So you go. I like that.
Let's see here. Ohio State, Mississippi. They got Indiana.
I'm trying to find.
Iowa.
Here we go. Here we go. I got you. I got you.
Illinois.
I got you. They don't play Illinois.
They ain't got Illinois.
They don't. Not this year. They got Northwestern, Indiana, Maryland, and Michigan. Last
Indiana. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's their
Indiana.
next game.
Yeah, they
Well,
got Northwestern's their next game, then Indiana.
Maybe it's Michigan that plays them later.
That's the last game of the season for them.
There it is. It's Michigan. They play on the 19th. That's what I was looking for right there.
I got you. Illinois and Michigan. I got you.
Yep, November 19th. Now that may be fun to share. Let's see who they got here. All right, number 10, LSU Tigers. Go Tigers. That's who they need. They need that Coach O at Auburn. He could still say go Tigers. Why?
Just something to remember this weekend as we're focused on Alabama. LSU wins this
We
game.
get out here, and the wife here chasing the dog. That's funny.
They're in the driver's seat of the SEC.
LSU.
Games on the road at A&M.
LSU 6-2. If Coach O went to Auburn, he could still say go Tigers. Right?
Listen. Oh yeah,
Go Tigers.
but listen. When you turn around and ask the guys which door do you want me to leave out of, he's not coming back to anything. He took his paycheck and went fishing.
And he really did go fishing. I mean, honestly, he really did go fishing. USC number 9. I like US. Wow, they got the LSU at 10. Boy, that's going to build Bama up. That's going to be a good. That's going to make for a good. Bama can beat a top 10 team. That can put them back in. Wow, I thought Oregon may have been 10 there. Because Oregon's only lost.
Quarterback, he's familiar. Where's he from?
Yeah, the Ducks. Look, they got them. They got them at 8. I mean, their only loss is they lost to Georgia.
Georgia, yeah, they're only lost. You know, if you was asking me about my rankings, Georgia's got to be ahead of Tennessee just because I'm going to give some respect to the national champion. I mean, you know, like Ric Flair always said, to be the man, you got to beat the man. So
yeah, well,
until they get beat.
That's right. Until TCU 7, I do like that. Nah, man, I like them. They're gonna put Bama at 6.
Higher than that to me.
Number 6, Bama. 5, Clemson. 4, Michigan. And
3 would be Tennessee for me.
see, I like Tennessee at.
They're not going to put Georgia and Tennessee 1 and 2. I just don't think that.
Ohio State 1 and Tennessee 2.
That's what. Well,
That's probably what they're gonna do.
they're fixing. They're going to go. They're going to go Ohio State, Georgia, and Tennessee. Is what I'm going to say.
Ohio State, Georgia, Tennessee, and then Clemson. I mean Michigan, and then Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Michigan. McNamara, QB. Look, now you know how I've been. If any of y'all watch the show, regularly, I'm not high on TCU. I mean Michigan at all. I don't like khaki pants. After what happened last year, they come down here and just got embarrassed by Georgia. The microphone's falling over. They just got embarrassed by Georgia. So I'm not sure if they can come back and have a to come. I don't. Man, why don't you put a team back in here and they just keep coming in here and getting embarrassed? That's why. So, but after watching Michigan this weekend play Penn State, I like them at 4.
Okay, so here's what I'm looking at. If I look at TCU, they've been super dominant offensively. Obviously,
Can you hear the TV any?
Oh yeah.
But they've done everything they've needed to do up until this point to win.
I don't know if it'd pick it up.
They got to go at Texas.
TCU.
Yeah.
That's the question, guys. Let me put this out there. Now, TCU, I called early on the show Sunday. They're going to bum this up somewhere. Baylor is picked to beat them later. Remember that. Baylor TCU game, that's about 3 weeks from now. Why should Ohio State be 1? Why should Ohio State?
Because Herb Street's Ohio State.
Here you go. There's your number 6, Bama.
Yep.
Remember this. If Alabama wins the rest of its games, they're going to be in the playoff. If they lose one, they're not. You know, and if they lose one,
You're right, Jill.
they might not even make the But is there reason ahead? But is there reason to be upset when you've seen Alabama very easily?
I'm okay with Bama at 6. Hey, man, look, they look sloppy. They ain't played great.
Yep.
That's what you're putting in number 6 right now. If we're putting all the body of work together, is that it where you cannot look ahead?
I mean, it'll play itself out.
If they win.
We need Tennessee to beat Georgia and go play them again in the SEC championship.
Well, if Bama wins this weekend, they've beat a number 10 team, LSU. Then they got Ole Miss, where was Ole Miss at?
7.
They were in top 50, They were in top 15, wasn't they? Top 12,
Oh,
7.
Yeah. But why were they not higher than what they were?
That's gonna be me. What, bro? Whoa, hold on. What? They not Michigan? They put Clemson in at 4. Holy crap, guys!
There ain't no way.
Bro, you're seeing it live right here. Wow, that surprised me too. There, Nick had them. Yeah. Wow. I like Ohio State at 1 just because they got the most dynamic offense. They slang the ball all over the yard, and I think they're better up on defense. Yes, they hadn't played a super tough schedule, but, I mean, who else you going to put? Tennessee? If you want to – cutting hairs at 1 and 2, to me, okay, put Tennessee at 1. I'm okay with that. I think they're both pretty close. I wouldn't fight you in a knife fight to put Tennessee at 1. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I mean –
I'm okay with it. That's surprising. Be Michigan at 5. Now that is. Well, we know who's 3.
Wow.
We know who the rest is. 3, 2, 1.
Yep. It's just what order have they got them in? I can't see them.
It don't matter.
Georgia. No, it doesn't.
The rest of these don't even really matter. I mean,
Clemson go up there and beat Ohio State. I'd love that. The fighting Dabos.
the fighting Sweeney's. That's true. He made a good point. Clemson's not jumping off the screen at him, making him feel like they're. That's why I'm surprised they're 4.
Yeah,
I could have put Clemson at I could have put Clemson at 6 and Bama at 5 and Michigan at 4. I could have done that.
Yeah, that would have worked. I mean, it's just not.
And this is just something for us to do because we're absolutely just old and fat and bored. Because none of this matters. Oh my God! Why, dude? Hey, look, man. Greg McElroy had them at 4 on his list. Greg Mack said, "Look, they're not playing great. They hadn't been the best team going right now, and they're gonna have to prove themselves to me." Greg McElroy had them at 4.
They got Tennessee number 1. It's screwed up.
I bet they do.
It now they got Tennessee at 1.
I think so. I would bet money on it.
Who saw this?
Greg McElroy.
Did he
Always.
put Tennessee at 1?
Yes, always college football. Go find his podcast. I watch him on YouTube every day. Greg McElroy's super smart.
God,
Tennessee, the Tennessee Volunteers. What about that guy? Where's Logan at? Logan is like a huge Tennessee fan. He comes on here every week. Todd's buddies with him. Where is he
what
at?
about, Coach Barnes. He's a huge UT guy too.
Is he?
Travis Barnes used to be here at Cherokee County for Coach Girls. He's He's up at Athens and Huntsville.
Well, there you go, guys. Take a snapshot of that on your phone right there.
Golly, Mom.
You heard it here first. Holy moly! Hey, look. It is what it is. It's not a. It's not a big deal.
No, because
one's playing 3 Saturday.
Yeah. Playoffs is happening this weekend.
Well, for those who think that
the playoffs is happening this weekend.
First week that they're released, did you hear that? Could you hear Knoxville there when you put up Tennessee? I think right now.
Yeah, Rocky Top in the background. I call him Sloppy Top. That's okay. They've been bad so long.
Without a doubt, Hooker's a great quarterback, and he's got a supporting cast all the way around him too.
Well, wasn't that a good find? Come over there from where did he come? He was from West Virginia.
Yeah.
What a find that was.
The only opinion that matters right now, David, is that they score and they score in a hurry, and that Hendon Hooker right now has a great feel and has an incredible command between the play calling and the execution. That's the thing, Dave, and you can appreciate this. It's not just going fast. You got to turn the ball over. They don't have a lot of penalties. That's fascinating to me to run that offense where the defense can't even get lined up and a quarterback's not making any mistakes.
What was that 2010 Auburn team? Is that what they did?
But up to this point, that's been the story.
10? Yeah, I
Didn't
mean,
get to play for the national championship. Was that
Well,
the year
they-
Oklahoma and USC played for each other, and it was the two? I mean, Auburn
No,
wasn't
that-
either one of them.
no, that was before. That was like 03. I mean, the year Auburn won it, when they had Cam, they were going so fast. But they had what people don't respect is Nick Fairley on that defense. Auburn, he was great. Nick Fairley was a grown man playing football.
They show that targeting call they done on Bryce Young that they didn't call.
They didn't forget about that. Them guys must have drove right off a mountain right down to Fort Payne Friday night.
Hey, let me ask you this question here.
Oh, am I still talking about that? I got to get off that. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you got to drop that. Let me ask you this question: have y'all talked about the ref the video that's went viral on the referee that moved the ball?
Or at Red Bay?
I don't know where it was at.
Well, they did that at Red Bay. Sorry if I got anybody on from Red Bay. I ain't lying. I'm just telling you the truth. That's just what happened.
No, there's
Bama.
a video that just went viral. It's a high school video. The ref blatantly moves the down marker and the football to make it a first down for whoever it is they're playing. I don't know who.
Virginia Tech.
No, it was a high school team.
No, I was talking.
Virginia Tech. Yeah, that's right. Was that where he come from? Virginia Tech instead of West Virginia? That's right.
Yeah, Bama. I ain't got a problem with Bama being 6. But it's what it is. I mean, if you want to be number one, you got to play like number one.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs a little bit of humble pie every once in a while. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am,
Yeah.
for correcting
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. I knew it was one of those Virginians. Oh, Philip Sims. You remember Sims? Was at Alabama?
Yeah.
He stayed and wound up having to go back home because mom had some kind of problems or something.
Right.
Oh, Rocky Top. So today, guys, let's put this question out there. We got a bunch of people watching here. If Tennessee and Clemson lines up, who we got?
Good
Tennessee
question.
versus Clemson. Tennessee versus Clemson.
Does
I'd
that
probably
mean
lean.
Georgia and Ohio State.
Yeah, I would say Tennessee beats Clemson. All right. And Ohio State and Georgia, I think that's a good matchup.
I mean, I think it's over before the third quarter's finished.
Does the Dirty Birds down here around this area, do they have the dudes to rush after C.J. Stroud to cause a problem? Does Georgia's defense, do they have enough guys to keep Stroud from sitting back there in the pocket and doing his taxes? You know what I mean? Because if he's got time to throw the ball, let me tell you right now, you're going to have a hard time. Stroud's good, man. Him and Hooker's your top 2 Heisman people.
Sure.
I think everybody kind of had voted Tennessee on that one. So let's just go with the champs from last year. Just a mere, you know. So you would have the game that's going to happen Saturday. If those 2 teams won, like we just posed, then you got Saturday's game. What about that? Because Tennessee and Georgia are going to play. And I just feel bad for all you people that are watching. Because let me tell you what's going to happen Saturday. This old boy right here, I ain't going to eat breakfast. And we're going to do a media day. By the way, everybody local, if y'all like to come over and watch, we'll be at the Rock. Start at 12 o'clock. We're going to have Cherokee County Media Day for all the basketball girls and guys. Or you can watch right here. I already have a link set up. I'll be sending it out probably Thursday. I'm going to go eat some, what is it, Keith? Cajun
pork loin sandwich.
Cajun pork loin sandwich. So all you yahoos out there, you just eat my dirt, man. We're going to be eating Cajun pork loin Saturday, probably about 3 o'clock.
While watching the Rocky Top and the Dog.
Who's winning that game?
It's a coin flip on that one. That's a pick 'em game. If anybody puts any points on that one, they're done.
That he is right. There ain't many teams, Jeff, had enough to flush Stroud, but they ain't played the boys from the.
They ain't played a defense yet either.
They ain't played any boys from the Dirty South down here,
Mm-mm.
where all the national championships have been taking care of business down here. Tennessee might win at a neutral field, but not on the road. That was the only reason I picked Georgia this weekend. Honestly, was because
Yeah, I
it was
mean,
at
I'd probably
Athens.
pick a home team too on this game, but still,
Yeah,
I'm going to say Georgia, but I think Tennessee can win. I mean, they're the number one. They're the number one team in the nation right now, right?
well, Johnny says that Tennessee has the best resume, but I'd rather we get put at number 2 and show the world once we beat Georgia. Hey, look, I mean, or you can just say, smoke 'em if you got 'em, son, and we're going to show up number 1 and we're going to run that old dog tail plumb off the field.
It's tough to play with that target on your back. If you don't believe that, call Nick Saban.
That's the hardest thing to do, man. That just keep guys locked in and focused. Hats off, Shalom Sudaram to Nick Saban for, and just being able to take a bunch of alpha guys. I mean, look what's going on at Texas A&M. Jimbo, there's a bunch of guys in there smoking pot in the locker room, right? There's some big mess going on about that. He's got a lot of kids. I think Texas A&M will be good, but it's hard to take a group of alphas from all over the country, put them in one room, and get them all to march one direction. And Coach Heifel has so far this season has done a good job. Now, in 10 years, come back to me and tell me how many 10-win seasons they got.
Well, I heard this a long time ago. Steve, I don't know if Steve Smith was still at Cedar Bluff then or not, but he had made the comment that it's hard to get a high school kid up, get the whole team, not just one kid, but get the entire team fired up at 100% for maybe one game a year, one game a season on the high school level. And he said at the college level, it's you might get the entire team fired up for maybe 3 or 4 games a year, and he said it's just hard to get everybody at the same level fired up to ready to go, healthy, the whole 9 yards. So, and I agree with him 100%, just simply because, man, Matt, I won't never forget. He made when Steve was quarterback at Cherokee County. They were playing some team like I'm going to say like an Asheville or somebody like that. And this was, you got to remember, this was before the internet. This was before you.
No, this is 80,
before
86,
right,
87, 88.
Right in there, right? And so this was before you could look up stats on other teams and other players. And the Coach Johnson told the whole offensive line, said, "Hey guys, they got some just giants that's going to come in here and they're going to kill Steve if y'all don't keep him off of them." and he just filled them full of crap all week. But what he done, he knew if they knew it was a weaker opponent coming in, then they weren't going to, be practiced and could possibly go by, a lesser opponent. And so
they wouldn't get fired up. He's trying to get them fired
up. They
up.
wouldn't be fired up. So he was able to keep them fired up. And Steve said it's harder to do that now just because kids have so much access. And, when you got people like the Matt and Todd show that's just got everybody spread all over, and which I think it's great that you can do that. But, the kids have access to the other team and more information than what they had back in the 80s.
Yeah, well, I can tell you right here, the quarterback here for a corner, 7-2 on the year. They've given up 183 yards. They are Yellow Jackets, and they're in Warrior, Alabama. And I can tell you that their quarterback, Landon Peterson's thrown for over 1,000 yards.
That's what I'm saying. But, going into a playoff game, in the postseason for the Warriors, that's good that they know that. They know they've got a pretty good opponent coming in. And, I mean, corner had corner. It was in the first. It was in the driver's seat at one time throughout the season. And I don't know if they just kind of got in the meat of the schedule and it kind of put them down to number 4. But still, they're still doing. They're still a good team.
Yeah. Yeah, they beat Dora, so Dora's okay. Here's a good question for you. The committee is really trying to put in 2 SEC teams in the playoffs. Nick thinks they're trying to really get in 2 SEC teams. I don't know if that's the popular thing to do anymore, Nick. It may could happen that way, but let's remember one's going to play 3. So let's just play devil's advocate. We're going to say, let's say Tennessee wins. They're number 1. Why not give them a hat there? They beat number 3 Georgia. Georgia's got 1 loss. Georgia will fall down below Bama to 6. Well, that'll put Clemson up in the top 4 then. So there won't be 2 SEC teams in the playoffs.
Well, what if you then get in there to the SEC championship game and it's Bama and Tennessee, and then Bama beats Tennessee in the championship game? SEC. Do you put the loser of the SEC championship out?
Well, yes, you could, but here's the thing. Instead of always, because the SEC just they've just had better teams here of late, but guys, what needs to happen? Somebody else needs to step up. Oregon needs to just finish out and run the table and beat USC and win the Pac-12. Or TCU finishes undefeated. If TCU finishes this season undefeated, there's not a reason in the world that they won't be in there. They're not going to put a 1-loss conference loser. Let's just say Tennessee and Bama played like you say. All right, let's just say Bama redeems itself and beats Tennessee. That's going to put a 1-loss SEC champ. They're going to be in. Michigan, Ohio State play. One of them's coming out. So Clemson's definitely going to win. They play nobody. They play a bunch of poo-poo teams. So they're going to make it in. So if one lost Michigan, they're going to come out. So that's definitely going to put a number 6 team back in there to come on up. Well, then you need to look at like number 7 and see what kind of, where are they at on the schedule, which they had, Oregon? Wasn't Oregon 7, I think?
Yes, that's correct.
Bro, the door's wide open. Oregon Ducks, all you got to do is win, baby. You win.
Well, you mentioned Clemson. So they got Notre Dame this weekend. Then they go to Louisville. And then they've got Miami and then South
Maybe
Carolina.
not, Jeff. Jeff said they can't compete against that. Maybe not, and that's a good statement. But we're going to have to see. I agree. I don't think they can either. And who's Clemson? They got Notre Dame and then a bunch of
Notre
poo-poo
Dame,
teams.
Louisville, Miami, South Carolina.
They win all those games. There's no reason they should lose those games. So they're definitely going to be in. All right, now one of the 2 between Tennessee and Georgia, we've talked about that. One of them are in. That's 2. Now Michigan, Ohio State, one of them's going to be in, right?
So
one of them's got to come out.
Oregon's got Colorado this weekend. That's going to be a tough one. Washington, Utah, and Oregon State's what they got left on their schedule.
Now Utah, Cam Rising is a good quarterback, and they did upset USC on the last fourth quarter play down there.
So they've got one game they've really got to look at.
That's Utah.
And that's on November the 19th.
There you go. And the 19th also is TCU plays Baylor. So here's what's going to happen. Oregon takes a dump and loses to Utah that night, a 2-loss Utah team. And then TCU, if they lose to Baylor, that's going to give them a loss. Then, so you're not going to have an SEC champ by then. So we're just talking about hypothetical in 2 weeks' time. That'll be they're going to keep a 1-loss Bama to be ahead of the 1 losses. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. They'll probably be the highest 1-loss team, I would assume Alabama would be. They'll probably hang around right there at 6. I don't think they're going to bump nobody ahead of them. But if anybody above them loses, they'll probably be 7. Or maybe they'll put them 6 and they'll put Bama 5. But look, again, 2 of those teams are coming out of that 4. I mean, the 5. Because Michigan plays Ohio State in 3 weeks, and Georgia and Tennessee play this weekend. So,
yeah, Baylor's got Oklahoma, Kansas State, TCU, and Texas.
I got who now? Oklahoma, Kansas, and
Kansas State, TCU, and Texas.
Wow. Oh boy, that's tough. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be scared of that one.
They're not going to run. They're not going to win all of them.
Uh-uh.
Kansas State just blows the doors off Oklahoma State. What happened there? 49-0. You can't score a single touchdown.
I mean, come on, Gundy.
And K-State didn't even have their starting quarterback.
And, Texas is still kind of a little sleeper team out there. You don't ever know what they can do, and that being the rivalry week, Wow, I can't say that. Rivalry week.
Rivalry.
Rivalry week.
Why do you think Texas and Oklahoma are moving to the why? Oh, Jeff, that's an easy question. Can you tell me why? Bingo.
Follow the dollar.
Yeah. John's got a question here. He says, how in the heck did Clemson get a higher ranking than me? Hey, I don't know, man. Clemson plays nobody. The top three are good. Yeah, that's what we were looking. When they broke that down.
Best thing I can tell you to do is get on Herb Street's Twitter and ask him, because we don't know.
I'm going to try to play devil's advocate. You ask a question, I have a sports analytics show, and I'm not going to dodge it like ESPN and give you some psycho mumbo jumbo, because we're a non-rehearsed show here. So, honestly, why did Clemson get a higher ranking than Michigan? Why did Clemson go over Michigan? I'm going to say the same reason probably Bama gets a lot of attention, because of what they've done, which don't have nothing to do with this week. I do agree with you, John. So I'm just going to, my opinion to answer your question, I'm just trying to answer it, I guess, the best I can. I'm trying to think like ESPN, like, all these weird things like the rainbow colors and, all that weird stuff they keep up with, not football. I just, based on, I guess, the past, how Clemson, Dabo, he's a great coach. They're national champions. They've won games, and Michigan hadn't been really good in a long time. I mean, they was in the playoffs last year and they get their britches blowed off. Khaki Pants went back home in his underwear. It was bad.
Hey, Matt, Clemson,
yes, sir.
Clemson give up 45 points to Wake Forest.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I get it.
Well, Greg was trying to make a case for, I think he was talking about Oklahoma State earlier was it Oklahoma State or TCU? He's talking about TCU, and he's saying, now, we do this and we do that, but now they play SMU and they've played Kansas. What? SMU? Who? The Mustangs?
And Mountain University.
Yeah, they would have a better chance. SMU, they didn't even have a football program in 30 years when they got busted out there for. So I hate when they do that. They use one to make their argument sound good. Well, SMU, they've played, and then he went on Clemson and he took up for them and said, "Oh, they played Wake Forest. Now they're pretty good." No, they're not. Stop that. They're garbage. They give up 45. What Talbert just told you. The real question is, what did the committee see in Clemson that they did not see in Michigan? Is it their offensive line? Definitely not. A better quarterback? No, it ain't better quarterback. I'll answer you maybe on that, Nick.
No.
I think McNamara, Ugalele out there in me so low. I think they put Klubnik in over him. So I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question, Nick. I don't know. Penalizing for a ball. Michigan put 400 yards rushing on Penn State. They did. And Penn State's not garbage. You're very welcome, John. Thank you for stopping by. We're live here every Sunday night, baby. SMU,
I'd
81
love to
to
do
84.
y'all on Sunday night, but we do man church at the same time. Y'all do y'all show.
I know, man. We're going to get together one night.
That's right.
We may start going on it. I think during the winter we have changed. We have went back to did 5. We'd go on at 5 and stay on till 6.
I can handle that. But you got Michigan's resume. I mean, it's of course, big win over Colorado State, Hawaii, Connecticut. Close game against Maryland. 34-27 against Maryland was Michigan. I mean,
I like McCarthy, dude. I watched him, and I told you earlier. For people may just come on. I do not. I'm not a khaki pants fan at all. After what happened to them last year, they got their britches blowed off down here. Georgia just made them, and that boy got put up for the Heisman. That was bad as old Tua or Tayal, whatever he was, Notre Dame. Just got totally embarrassed by Eddie Lacy in the title game.
Did he not?
Bro, that's terrible. They put him up for Heisman. That guy from Michigan, I never even seen it. He didn't have but one tackle all night. I mean, it was just
We
terrible.
got to go to that when Alabama played Michigan a couple years ago in that bowl game. We got to go to that game. That was pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But we beat the brakes off of them again.
Oh, yeah, Michigan's tailback. What's his name?
I don't remember now.
Coleman? I think it's Coleman. Now, here's a good one for you, John. I like Singleton at Penn State. I don't know what happened to him. He did not have a good game, but it may be because the defense that he went against. He may be playing hurt. You talking about? I think Jeff's talking about SMU.
Maybe.
Blake, yeah, Corum, not Coleman. Corum.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of said it right. That was just the redneck in me. No, sorry, Nick. I said Coleman. It's Corum. That's Corum. That's a North Alabama slang for him. Coleman.
That's it.
He's a good tailback. He really had a good game. I think Michigan's better. And I've told it again. I'll say it again. I've not been a Michigan fan, but man, after watching that game, McCarthy, his running ability looked good. Michigan's good enough on defense. They remind me of Georgia. I think Michigan and Georgia are a similar matchup, sort of. I really do. I think that'd be a fantastic. I bet that would nearly be a pick'em game. Joey the Fish at Vegas. I would nearly bet it would be a pick'em game. Coleman's good enough to win the Heisman, but they have to beat Ohio State. That's true. They obviously have for their guys to win the Heisman. Yeah. The Bucs defense has improved, Talbert. You'd say have you watched Ohio State much any this year?
Mm-mm. Don't like
I've watched probably about 2 games.
Yeah.
I guess furball is you're meaning that you're implementing that as in Michigan. I'm assuming. Khaki pants. Yeah, I think it'd be different this year, Jeff. I don't know if it'd be that way.
You know, and that's we was talking about this the other day. The LSU and Alabama game coming up this weekend. That's going to be a big game. Got a lot of implications on that. And LSU is kind of finding themselves with Kelly down there as their coach, and
hey, JT,
they're
man,
kind of getting settled in a little bit. And I mean, granted, I wish they'd have waited till after this week to start doing that, but anyway, now that they're ranked number 10, that's okay to be the top 10 team if we're able to go.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hey, that's dude.
Sure. I mean,
Jaden Daniels is he's being at practice. I've got one of the reporters that we hook up with Primetime Sports Network over on Twitter. You can find us over there at Big Matt 1977, and it's the Matt and Todd Show. I have some guys around the LSU area that I talked to during the week. Their practices, they said the guys have been catching the ball better. Their linemen are working harder this week. That last week, and this is not known by everybody, they had some kind of stomach bugger go through down there at LSU. If they come out fighting on all cylinders, guys, that game is at night, and I'm going to be full of port loin, Cajun style. There's no telling what might happen. Talbert,
it ought to be a good one. You bringing Diamond with you? I needed to know.
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Georgia can pass when their back is against the wall. Mm-hmm. Haven't seen that a whole lot out of Michigan. They just pound the rock when they get in a deficit. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Alabama can beat Tennessee in a rematch? And they both win out in it's yeah. Look, and I'm just saying that. I'm not trying to say if you could see my wall, you can kind of see here. I have a Georgia sign. I got an Auburn one on the other side of the wall. We cover the SEC in depth. But, I mean, just realistically, who has really beat Nick Saban twice in the same year? Nobody.
Not back to back. Don't even go the same year. Just say it back to back. I mean, the chances of beating him back to back is really hard. If you don't do it, you don't believe it, call Les Miles, ask him. Yeah,
I mean, you could call you could start on a list like with Dooley from up Tennessee when he was there back in the day. Or we could go to Coach O at Ole Miss when he was there. The list could go. I could go on. It's just hard, man. Now, this staff that he has, they're definitely not Kirby Smart or Steve Sarkisian by any stretch of the means, because that was the best coaching staff ever assembled, and it showed. They were a dynasty. And Alabama run the rule of college football for basically about 8 years, which will probably never be done again. And I just don't. But still, though, you're trying to beat somebody twice, man. In high school, if I play you in mumbly pegs, if you beat me once, you probably won't beat me again. If anybody's got any kind of competitive spirit, if somebody's paying attention. Charlie Mack beat Bear. I don't know, Jeff. Bear died when I was about 5. It happens at.
That happened the same time I was about 5. I wonder why that was.
It's happened with LSU and Georgia. Yes, LSU has finally bought into that. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe they're finally believing in Coach Kelly. He's not a terrible coach. I mean, he was at Cincinnati. I didn't like how he left him. He left in the middle of the night on, just supposedly got in the plane, took off, But when Notre Dame, the Gold Dome calls, I mean, dude, you got to take that job. I mean, it's a prestigious job. They're not really great at football, and they hadn't been since I was born in '77. But, yes, I know they made the college football championship. But,
join a conference. You'll have my respect when you join a conference. I don't even care if it's the weakest ACC.
Yes. Yeah. Well, they play football in the ACC, but see, they don't turn in their whole sports league into a conference, because that way,
right?
Because their bishop, which is their athletic director, they don't have to turn in their money. Then that's what it's about, because they're a Catholic church and they don't have to show money. They're a private
You mean
institution.
it's all about the money again?
Oh, surely not, Talbot. Come on, man. God told us that. Yeah, 60% of the time. Does North Carolina? Yeah, they do. Let's look at that. That's a good question there, Nick.
I'm going after North Carolina now. So,
okay. The old fight.
Yeah, they got beat by Notre Dame 45-32, and that's their only loss. And he's right. And they're going to play Virginia, Wake Forest, Georgia Tech, and NC State. So again, it's possible that they could run the table and only have one loss and still be nowhere close.
Let's see here. Who all are they?
So they got beat by Notre Dame, 45-32.
Notre Dame, and Notre Dame's not really good. Or no, I don't think anybody on here thinks Notre Dame. So they're not world beaters. Dukes, man.
I mean, they've not really blowed out anybody.
Who they got left here? They got
Virginia, Wake Forest, Georgia Tech, NC State.
Virginia. They got Virginia this week. They'll beat Virginia. Now that Wake Forest game, and then they got the Wolfpack. Which the Wolfpack, I called it back in the summer. I got on Twitter with some guy. I got one of those chat rooms on Twitter, and he tried to tell me that NC State was just going to be great. They brought back like everybody on offense. I said, dude, it don't matter if you bring everybody back if they ain't no good. What's that?
Well, they've only got 2 losses, man.
But they're not. They had them. They're like, they had them in like the top 5. Like they're great.
Well, they beat Texas Tech. They beat Connecticut. Listen to this. They beat Charleston Southern.
Wow. Man, we just need to go ahead and get them a trophy. Let me call Howard and see if we can get a trophy.
They beat Florida State in a close one.
Terrible team.
19-17.
Well, they're gonna get beat this weekend. Watch, because Wake Forest gonna put the drum on them.
Well, they beat Virginia Tech in a close one too. 1-point game. I'm
gonna call Howard again and get us a trophy made. Go over there.
That's right.
North Carolina has been on the rise, and you know why? Well, they wanted to run old Mike off over there. Remember?
Yep.
Mac decided that he could still coach some football, so he went over there and just tried to strike the band up and get things kind of going again. Let's see here. Let's see what they're yakking about before we get on.
As they go along, it's kind of swap things in.
Ain't nobody making up rules, Bear. They're trying to follow their opinion and their different metrics that they have. They're not making it up. Let me ask you something. Couple teams off the grid here that no one's talking about. You guys are all focused on those top 4 or 5. What about Oregon, USC? I mean, that potentially, if they both keep winning, if they were to keep winning, is that They got a shot still on the outside as Pac-12 team.
Well, first, I was very surprised that USC was ranked ahead of UCLA. USC doesn't have a wing to hang their hat on. They lost at Utah. Granted, it was on the final play of the game or the final minute. UCLA beat Utah very convincingly. So the fact that UCLA is behind USC surprised me. But you're right. The thing with Oregon, and you and Reese and David, everybody on the set has talked about this. How will the committee ultimately review what happened to Oregon when they played Georgia at the start of the year? Is the margin of that defeat going to be too difficult for people to wrap their hands around and say, you know what, this is a top 4 team? So I think right now, like, if you ask people honestly, like, who's maybe number 5 or number 6 or so, Oregon might be that answer. If Oregon played Clemson or TCU on a neutral field, I might pick Oregon.
So you're saying that they still have a chance. All right, let's dig a little bit deeper. Remember 2014, Ohio State was way down and made a run to get all the way into the playoff. It took the last weekend, but they got in. What about JW's Carolina team? They still got 3 ranked teams. Any chance of anybody down in the teens making a run?
Well, they have the loss to Notre Dame, which is obviously going to be a problem. But they were to run the table with that offense, with May at quarterback, who I think should be his name squarely mentioned in the Heisman mix. If you compare his numbers to Hendon Hooker and C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young and all those guys, he's right there. Now, defensively, they're 115th in the country in defensive efficiency, so that unit has been a liability.
You don't like their line either.
No, their defensive line has given up a bunch of running yards this year. But like I said, they played better in the second half against Pitt, and they shut down Izzy and that Pitt offense. So if they were to win out, we could be in a situation. What was it? The year they wound up playing Clemson in that ACC title game with the onside kick, where it would have been
15,
very
I
interesting
think.
to see they potentially could have been in the playoff that year. But if they're 12-1 ACC champs and they rip through the remainder of these games and beat Clemson, who obviously the committee thinks very highly of, sure, well, why not? I think of all the teams that are ranked in the teens, they certainly have the biggest upside.
And a 2-loss LSU team could be SEC champions if they beat Alabama this week. They're sitting there at 10. But, Bear, here's the thing, and JW was referred to as our producer extraordinaire, Jonathan Wiley, who's now very upset that we're talking about Carolina, wants him to sneak around a little bit. But Bear, you talked about just picking these. You're an erudite gentleman of the arts. You know that this is a mosaic that you put together and different pieces fit together to paint the picture. Some people use different things that are more important than others. Come on, man. You know it's not just grabbing at stuff.
No, but that's the interesting thing. Here we have a situation where Tennessee is ranked number 1 in the country, and they're an 8.5 point underdog at the team who's number 3. So he's really ultimately on what the committee's looking at, and that's fine. They're making a judgment based on a resume, what Tennessee's done, and that's clearly deserving. But you mentioned the TCU Clemson thing. That's interesting to me because TCU, if you look at their strength of record, it's better. Their strength of schedule is better. They got 2
Who do you like out of the Pac-12
rankings that are better than Clemson.
I mean, he mentioned UCLA, and after looking at their stuff, I mean, I agree with him. I think UCLA is a better team than USC. I mean,
yeah, but
then you got Oregon sitting up there. But I mean, again, they hadn't played anybody, so I mean, I don't know.
It's because of the scheduling. Now UCLA, they play Arizona State this weekend. They did beat Utah, which is ranked 12, and they did beat Washington. And Washington has that quarterback from Indiana that we was so high on last year. But let's see. Wait a minute.
Well, they got Arizona State, Arizona, USC, and California. So UCLA and USC is going to play, but UCLA and Cal, that's not going to be a game. But the USC, I don't know. UCLA may be the better group out of their best squad out there in the Pac-12. I mean,
well, let's see who
they got beat by Oregon, but still, it was 45-30 was the score on that game. So.
Yes. Let me do. Yes. Stanford's not really high quality.
Not as it used to be.
Well, who's left on the schedule for them? They got Arizona State and Arizona.
USC is the only quality left.
See, that's the problem. Now watch this right here. You go over here to Oregon, and this thing will work right.
All in the operator.
It is failure between the steering wheel and the seat.
Mm-hmm.
They got they got Oregon State late, and Oregon State, you just seen them. They're ranked up there in the top 20.
Top 24. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and they got Utah. See the schedule. The pavement is been put in the wheelbarrow. I'm sorry, I'm country and I use silly country terms.
I'm proud we have listeners that can understand us.
The asphalt's been put in the wheelbarrow. It's Oregon's Pac-12 to lose. I mean, there's
You're
no
right.
reason.
There you go.
There ain't no reason that Oregon shouldn't be able to win it now. But they're playing these two more ranked teams. Who we got Oregon State and Utah. They got Utah the 19th.
Yep.
Well,
That 19th is going to be a big week. We done called off several games that's going to happen on it, and I mean that's going to be a big weekend for sports.
Baylor and TCU, and that'd be
that was Clemson. No, Illinois, Michigan,
in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Baylor and TCU, and Alabama plays. Who's Bama play that week? We got Is it Ole Miss game or
that's that week's game? What's the week game? Bama's got a bad schedule on that one, I think. Hang on, I'll tell you that. Austin P.
Yeah.
That's the weekend. I don't know. Austin P will give us a better game than Auburn.
Easy now, son. Somebody's feelings hurt now. They'll be calling me tomorrow.
My name ain't on this show.
We got LSU, Ole Miss, and then that's about it.
Austin P. Mm-hmm. And that's yep. Mm-hmm.
The University of Spoiled Children. Whoa. I'm sure he's referring to
USC,
South California, not South Carolina, because they chant USC too. Yeah, go ahead. I know, John. I ain't gonna get Keith started again. He'll get fired up on here. He'll throw his phone out. You just say the phone start flipping out in the yard. You see what he put on there?
I do. Hey, we lost that game. Go beat Georgia, and we'll see y'all again in December, hopefully.
Yeah. I really think they should have been decided after this coming. Yeah, I know. That's it's the same thing, John. During the summer, these guys start coming out with top 25, and we don't. And I've had a few people on. A guy from Ohio come on and said, "Well, why don't y'all have a top 10?" I was like, "They ain't even played a game yet." Now, we will put out some players that we like to look out for, like the Henderson kid at Ohio State. We was looking at him, or the Hot Rod Rodriguez guy at Kentucky. We wanted to take a look at him. And, of course, a chain at A&M. Geez Louise, man. He's a track star.
Did you I know we've been talking about some LSU football, former LSU player. Did you watch the dang Monday Night Football game last night?
No. Hobby, speaking of.
Got annihilated. What? I mean, bless his heart. I mean, and I'm not an LSU fan. I'm not a Joe. I mean, Joe Burrow's a great quarterback, Heisman Trophy winner, whole 9 yards. But man, him at the Browns, he's gonna get his brains beat in up there, man.
Actually, Coach Kelly, he was getting done, and in between sets there, he had mentioned Javi come in, and for people who don't know Javi, he's the heartbeat of Cherokee County Warriors. And he comes in, and Coach Kelly asked him about the game, and he said, man, his guy looked good. Nick Chubb, Coach Kelly's a Chubb fan. Of course, he's a Georgia guy from over there. But I
talking
think he's
about a
Alabama
live?
fan. Huh? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so they were all excited, and they were talking about the Monday Night Football game, and I did not get to watch, so
Ooh.
it was a. I just
Joe had
don't.
to take some ibuprofen last night before he went to bed because I promise you, he got his tail whipped last night. It's not his fault. I mean, his O line's terrible. I mean, his O line is terrible.
I take it that that Chubb did well from listening to Coach Kelly.
Yeah. Yeah.
UCLA refers. Well,
UCLA refs for USC.
no, I tell you what. I've heard a bunch of good coaches say this. You never leave the game up to your kicker and the refs.
Nope,
I think
absolutely not.
Coach Johnson.
Yep, absolutely. I've heard it all my life. You know, if the refs was what cost you the game, you wasn't that good of a team.
No, Coach Bryant told them when we lost Bama lost to USC that year. Joe Namath supposedly scored, and he got in, and the ref said he did not. And they asked him after the game, well, Coach, you ought to won that game if he'd have got in. He said, well, the game should have never been that close.
Yeah.
He felt like they were the better team. They just didn't play well that day.
That's right.
I mean, what kind of answer is that? I mean, I don't even know how to respond. I mean, as a reporter, what do you say back?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Have a good day.
That's right.
Can I bum a Chesterfield from you? Yeah, you can't leave it up to the refs. Everybody around here's had trouble with.
Well, I mean, and everybody knows this. They're so shorthanded. I mean,
so bad,
it is
man.
what it is. I mean, it's not. I mean, and of course, in that decision that was made, I mean, of course, that referee's being investigated now. The one that moved the ball, the one I told you, I'll send you a link to that video. But the ref that moved the ball, he, I mean, they're after the whole, referee squad. But here's the thing, I mean, that's not right either, because I mean, White Hat makes the decision, and you know, it's just up to him. Whatever he calls is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
So
they talking about Auburn's faithful child, the son of Patrick Nix, Auburn great, Bo Picks.
go look at that right there.
That was destroyed time and time again. They got a commercial on that. Well, they constantly had Bo Picks just aggravating him, and they couldn't wait for him to be gone. Ref got caught cheating in 4K. Okay, so they are a little bit short. Oh, come on. Look, okay. Yeah, I wonder if I can put that up on the. Watch this right here.
It's terrible.
That is pretty bad.
I mean, because he grabs the down marker and the football, and moves both of them, and I mean, it's just that. I mean, this happened. I don't think it was this past weekend. I think it's about 2 weeks old. I think is where it's at. I don't remember what the date on that was. Looks like the 27th. So it might have been this weekend.
I can't get on the.
Do I need to send it to you a different way?
No, it would have to be. I don't know how I could get it on there. I'm trying to think. If I was logged in, see, I'm running. You have to run this through Google Chrome.
Yep.
And I ain't signed in on Facebook, nothing through Google. That's how I can share these.
But if I text it to you, you still can't put it up there?
I shared it on the page. Y'all can look at it on Facebook.
Yeah,
right
there you
now.
go. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. Yeah, that was deliberate.
Well, what if it was? Now here's what we got to take in effect. Here I am doing devil's advocate. I do that a lot. Have you noticed that? I don't like the devil. He's kind of mean. But what if the game was 50-0, and this team finally got the ball down there close, and he just got, you know what, heck, they're losing by 50, just to give them the darn first down. You know, maybe, what if that was the case?
I mean, What did you teach the young men by doing that? And especially you, was that obvious about how you done it?
Yeah, he tried to be kind of smooth about it.
But I mean,
Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate
if
it.
you're
Thank you for coming
all
by.
right, so
Come by Sunday night, 6 o'clock.
here's my response to that, Matt. If you're wanting to just be the nice guy and give them a first down, don't ever call for a measurement.
But it was like inches, and if the team's losing by, 50,
Yeah.
like five,
Don't
say
even call
five.
for a measurement. Just give them the first down.
Well, but you got to do that because you got to make the coach, because he's probably hollering he wants a measurement because he thinks they got it, and he just winds up going and give it to him anyway because Fife is playing, like a polka, and they ain't won a game in 5 years, and they just like, okay, yeah. So they just give the first down to Locopocha. Now, I'm sorry if anybody on here from Locopocha's watching. I apologize.
Lochapoka. I'll say it right for you guys.
Yeah, Lochapoka, that Indian daughter, Prince's thing. Yeah, Princess Deerfoot. Maybe they're just being nice, and that may not be the case. It may have been a close game, and he was just, maybe he had to get home. I don't know. What if he's hungry, Talbert? What if he won't hurry up?
I'll cook him a sandwich.
That's another North Alabama word, sandwich.
Sandwich. SAMMICH.
Yeah, hungry, HONGRY. And I'm gonna be hungry Saturday about 3 o'clock because we're gonna be killing some Cajun tenderloin.
And you can also, there's another word that my wife uses, is called hangry. That means she's hungry and angry because she's not where she can eat right now.
Bro, you don't want to find me on one of those days.
No.
I'm not very nice. And the Snickers don't even satisfy.
No.
Well,
buddy, I've enjoyed tonight, man.
I know, man. Yeah, let's get off here. Go rest. I don't have to get up so early in the morning. I still got to go fool with some stuff. I'm just gonna kind of hang around here tomorrow and get some things together. Friday night, me and the Diamond Dean will be at Bobby Joe Johnson Field Warrior Stadium. Talbert will be hollering out first down, go Warriors.
Amen.
We'll be there for our game of the week, and then next week, Lord willing, the Garden wins. We think they do. Well, we'll be out at Spring Garden the week after. So, from Big Matt and from...
Hey, yeah, go Warriors.
That's what they say.
Yeah, hey, I'm going to tell you, I don't give enough love to the O-line out there for the Warriors. And they're what makes it happen for Jack and Corneo. I mean, they don't get their name called because it's not just blocking is all they're doing. But if they don't do that, they don't win, and they don't, we're not where we're at. So that whole line has really been impressive all season long. And
Coach Weaver was putting them through it today.
Absolutely.
Down there in the end zone. They were doing the combo and getting off block and picking up linebacker. Martin, Ransom, Wilson, Hernandez, Chestnut.
That's right. Yep.
They and then the younger guys was over there working with them too. And Meatball and he was over there popping heads with them. And even the younger teams, Doe Egg and those guys, they got some good guys coming too. Little James.
Man, I've heard a lot of good stuff about Doe Egg coming up. Man, I'm telling you, they say he's a beast in the weight room.
Yep, we'll be out there with
come out to Warrior Stadium this weekend, Bobby Joe Johnson Field, guys. Cherokee County versus Corner, be 7 o'clock. You can get your tickets on GoFan. You can get them at the gate with a debit card. I don't think they accept cash at the gate, but you can get them with a debit card or credit card or something. And
just order them on your phone before you get there. On the way to the game, go on there and buy them. You walk to the gate. They look at it. They'll take their little stylist. Hey, I got that word right, didn't I? Stylist.
You did. You're in.
And you touch the screen with that. Boom, boom. You get in the game. And the concession stands, go eat. They got all kind of good burgers, Chick-fil-A sandwiches. And
hey, they do a
stuff.
Movie theater popcorn. And oh my God, man! They got the caramel corn. They got the old-fashioned butter popcorn, and it's just drenching in butter too.
All right, guys. We'll see y'all Friday night, and come back here and catch us live Saturday at 12 o'clock. You see for our media day, cover the county basketball, and then Sunday night we'll be on the 6, guys. We got so much going on. Next 3 days, I don't know what I just.
Are you going to use the videos of the cooking stuff during your breaks on the Sunday night show?
Yeah, shoot, yeah.
If we can make that happen, we're going to try to make it happen. Have a little cooking video of the pork barbecue, the Cajun pork loin sandwiches that me, Diamond Dean, and my dad, Mr. G, we're gonna sit down, and watch us some football, and have us some Cajun pork sandwiches Saturday.
Yes, I'm digging it, man. All right,
Later,
guys.
guys. We'll catch y'all.
Keep your heads clear and your hearts full of God. Peace.
Amen.